A historic event is about to unfold, one that has captured the attention of the world's media and political observers alike. This moment could reshape the Middle East, altering the balance of power and opening new possibilities for peace and cooperation in a region long marked by conflict and division. Syrian President Ahmed Sharaa will soon visit Washington, the first Syrian head of state ever to be received in the U.S. capital. His arrival is not just a diplomatic milestone, but a signal to the world that a new chapter may be beginning for Syria and its relationship with the West. The last high-level Syrian visit to the White House was in 1999, making this meeting with President Trump a powerful symbol of changing times. The world has changed dramatically since then, and so have the challenges facing both nations. The announcement, made by U.S. Special Envoy Tom Barrack, signals a dramatic shift in American policy toward Syria after years of isolation under Bashar al-Assad. This move has surprised many analysts, who see it as a bold step toward engagement and dialogue. For the U.S., it's a chance to forge a new partnership in a volatile region, a rare opportunity to influence the future of Syria and perhaps the broader Middle East. For Syria, it's a step toward rejoining the international community after a devastating conflict that has left the nation scarred and isolated. This visit represents hope for rebuilding diplomatic bridges and restoring Syria's place on the world stage. The world will be watching as these two leaders meet, marking a profound transformation in their relationship. The stakes are high, and the outcome could set the tone for years to come. This event is the result of months of careful diplomacy, behind-the-scenes negotiations, and a willingness to move beyond past grievances. Both sides have worked tirelessly to create the conditions for this historic meeting, hoping to build a new foundation for cooperation. The discussions will cover critical issues: counter-terrorism, regional security, and economic recovery. Both nations recognize the urgent need to address these challenges, not just for their own interests, but for the stability of the entire region. The outcomes could have far-reaching consequences for the entire Middle East, influencing alliances, economic development, and the prospects for lasting peace. President Sharaa's journey from the battlefields of Syria to the White House is a story of remarkable change, one that reflects the resilience of a nation and the enduring hope for a better future. To truly grasp the significance of this historic visit, we need to look closely at the man at the center of it all, Ahmed Sharaa. His journey from the shadows of conflict to the global stage is nothing short of remarkable. We must understand Ahmed Sharaa himself, a figure whose life has been shaped by war, ideology, and the shifting sands of Middle Eastern politics. Once a prominent rebel leader, Sharaa rose to prominence during Syria's brutal civil war. He fought fiercely against Assad's regime, earning a reputation as a fearless commander. In his early years, he was even linked to al-Qaeda, a connection that cast a long shadow over his reputation. But a decade ago, he made a decisive break from the group, signaling a dramatic shift in his beliefs and ambitions. After distancing himself from al-Qaeda, Sharaa turned his focus to battling the Islamic State. He led his forces in fierce clashes against ISIS, positioning himself as a key opponent of extremist ideology and gaining respect among Syrians desperate for stability. Over time, Sharaa rebranded himself as a Syrian nationalist. He began to speak passionately about unifying the fractured nation and eliminating the influence of foreign extremists. His message resonated with a war-weary population longing for peace and sovereignty. When Assad's government finally collapsed in December 2024, Sharaa acted swiftly. He secured Damascus with surprising speed, promising a new beginning for Syria and vowing to restore order after years of chaos. Taking power as a transitional leader, Sharaa pledged to bring stability and inclusivity to a nation torn apart by conflict. He called for dialogue among all factions and promised to represent every Syrian, regardless of background. Since then, he's worked tirelessly to end Syria's international isolation. Sharaa has emphasized national unity, pragmatic leadership, and a willingness to engage with former adversaries, both at home and abroad. This transformation has dramatically changed global perceptions of Syria's leadership. For the first time in years, engagement with the United States and other Western nations has become possible, opening the door to new diplomatic opportunities. Today, Ahmed Sharaa is seen as a potential partner for regional stability, a stark contrast to the Assad era, and a symbol of hope for a new chapter in Syria's history. Since taking office, Sharaa has launched an ambitious diplomatic campaign to reintegrate Syria into the global community. His first major appearance was at the UN General Assembly, where he outlined a vision for a peaceful, cooperative Syria. Sharaa's government has quietly engaged with key nations, culminating in the upcoming White House visit. This outreach aims to unlock political and economic support vital for Syria's reconstruction. A top priority is lifting crippling sanctions. The Trump administration has supported moves to repeal the Caesar sanctions. Full removal would open doors for investment and trade, essential for rebuilding Syria's economy. Sharaa's diplomatic efforts are tightly linked to his domestic goals of recovery and stability. The Washington visit is the most significant milestone in this new diplomatic era. A central topic in Sharaa's visit will be Syria's potential entry into the US-led coalition against the Islamic State. The coalition, formed in 2014, united over 80 countries to defeat IS's territorial caliphate. While IS lost its territory by 2019, it remains a dangerous underground network. The coalition's mission has shifted to preventing IS's resurgence, especially in unstable regions like Syria. The collapse of Assad's regime created new challenges and opportunities for extremist groups. The US is eager to bring Syria into the alliance, sharing the security burden. Having Syria's official government join would be a major strategic and symbolic victory. It would close a critical gap in regional security. This partnership would demonstrate a united front against a common enemy. Syria's participation in the anti-IS coalition would be a game-changer. It would legitimize coalition operations in Syria, allowing for formal coordination and more effective action. Sharaa's forces have direct experience fighting IS, offering valuable intelligence and local expertise. Syrian security forces could lead ground operations, reducing the burden on international troops. The symbolism is powerful. A former rebel leader who broke with extremism now fighting terrorism alongside the US. This undermines extremist narratives and discourages recruitment. Including Syria would help stabilize the country and prevent IS from exploiting chaos. The US and coalition can support Syria's efforts to establish security and governance. A stable, committed Syria is the best defense against IS's return. This partnership is about building lasting peace, not just defeating terrorists. Another key issue shaping the region is the ongoing US effort to broker a de-escalation agreement between Syria and Israel, a diplomatic initiative that has captured the attention of the international community. The stakes are high, as both countries have a long and complicated history of conflict and mistrust. For decades, Syria and Israel have technically remained in a state of war, with no formal peace treaty ever signed. The situation has been further complicated by frequent Israeli airstrikes targeting Iranian-backed militias and weapons convoys inside Syria, leading to destruction and instability in Syrian cities and border regions. Now, with a new government taking power in Damascus, there's a unique opportunity to calm tensions and perhaps even reshape the relationship between the two countries. The new Syrian leadership has signaled a willingness to engage in dialogue, raising hopes for a diplomatic breakthrough. The proposed deal would require Syria to prevent hostile forces, including Iranian-backed groups, from operating near the Israeli border. In exchange, Israel would halt its airstrikes on Syrian territory, creating a more stable and predictable security environment for both sides. The United States is playing a central role, pushing to finalize this agreement before Syrian leader Sharaa's upcoming visit to Washington. American diplomats see this as a chance for a major diplomatic breakthrough that could reshape the security landscape of the Middle East. If successful, this agreement would pave the way for more comprehensive security talks, including discussions on a formal border agreement and broader regional cooperation. It could also serve as a model for future peace efforts in the region. For Syria, it's a step toward regional normalization and reintegration into the international community. For Israel, it means a more secure and peaceful border, reducing the risk of sudden escalations and cross-border attacks. If achieved, the agreement would mark a turning point in regional stability, offering hope for a more peaceful future in a region long plagued by conflict and uncertainty. The U.S. has clear objectives for Sharaa's visit. The top priority is securing Syria's formal commitment to the anti-IS coalition, strengthening the fight against terrorism. Another major goal is finalizing the Syria-Israel de-escalation agreement, reducing regional tensions and Iranian influence. The U.S. also hopes to pull Syria away from the orbit of Iran and Russia, encouraging a strategic realignment. By offering legitimacy and economic support, Washington aims to foster a stable, responsible Syrian government. The visit is about building a long-term relationship, supporting reforms, and lifting sanctions to aid reconstruction. It's an investment in a more peaceful, stable Middle East. This visit is not just about today's challenges, it's about shaping the region's future. Sharaa's visit could trigger a major realignment in Middle East diplomacy. His outreach signals a break from Syria's old alliances with Iran and Russia, hinting at a more neutral or Western-leaning policy. For Iran and Russia, this shift is a strategic setback, weakening their influence in Syria. For U.S. allies like Saudi Arabia and Jordan, a cooperative Syria is a welcome development. The visit could open doors for Arab nations to re-engage with Damascus and support reconstruction. Success in mediating a Syria-Israel agreement could inspire solutions to other regional conflicts. Sharaa's visit is a key move on the regional chessboard, encouraging diplomacy over confrontation. It could mark the start of a more pragmatic era in Middle Eastern politics. President Sharaa's visit to Washington could be a watershed moment for the Middle East. It marks a dramatic shift from years of hostility and isolation, signaling a possible new chapter for Syria. The main goals, joining the anti-IS coalition and finalizing a deal with Israel, would bring immediate benefits for regional stability. Success could reshape the region's diplomatic landscape, reducing Iranian and Russian influence and encouraging Arab re-engagement. This visit shows how pragmatic diplomacy can transform adversaries into partners. Challenges remain, but the event itself is a testament to the power of change. The world will be watching, hoping this marks the dawn of a new era of cooperation and peace.